So today we're going to be talking about my current library holds, but first I want to thank everyone that helped me, just encouraged me to do this, my first talking video, to everyone that took the time to talk to me about all of my concerns and give me such great advice. I really appreciate it. The reason why I've finally even thought about actually doing this is because of this community. You guys have been so supportive in everything I've done. I've never been part of such a supportive community, so that's first. So, onto the books. I'm going to start with the Poet Empress. This one I'm about 120 pages into already. I really like it. I'm really interested in the story, but I think the writing is a bit simple. And simple isn't a bad thing, usually. I like simple writing. It makes it very easy for me to understand. But this one, it's more like very repetitive and then vague and then restating things that are main parts of the plot that, like, we're 50 pages in, we didn't forget what this book is, you know. To give an example, there is many times where our narrator will say, like, oh, this person gave me a strange look, and oh, before this person walked out of the room, they gave me a strange look. And it's like, okay, like what? Like, what else was happening? Like, we get no other context, so it's like, did they give you a strange look and it's kind of like they were being conniving, or did they give you a strange look and you kind of felt like they were on your side, like sorry for you? It's like we don't get enough context for it to mean anything other than, okay, we don't know how this person looked at you. So whatever. Even with all of this, I'm still very interested in the story. I think although it's simple, it gives a lot of room for the story to develop and become complex. The story itself is complex, but the writing is simple enough to where you're not lost, because I do feel like you get a lot of moving parts in the very beginning. So the simple writing kind of makes it to where there's not an added difficulty on top of that. So yeah, I'm also very interested in like the narrator's survival. I don't want to give away too much, but it's really like, what are you doing? Like, what's gonna happen? And then there's like, even on the back, there's an added factor of like, she has to fall in love for this to happen. So as you start the book and you're reading about who she has to fall in love with, you're like, and how is that gonna happen? And who's gonna do that? So, I mean, saying that, there is a lot of very interesting dynamics in this book. It has to do with dynasties, emperors, concubines, and then obviously the servants that work there and the other, I don't know the word, the other people that hold court. I don't know. So it is very interesting to see all of those dynamics, because although they may have their own feelings about what's going on, they can't really do anything because they're a servant, or because they have to think about their family and the consequences that they would face during that time. So it is very interesting as far as all the dynamics that you get introduced to and the way that they develop. Like, where I am now, there is some sort of development in certain dynamics, and it just adds to such a new level of complexity to the story itself. I'm not going to spoil anything, I promise. I'm very bad at that. But I think it's a very good book so far. Like I said, the writing's a bit, you know, like, the author doesn't really trust her audience to remember things or understand things. But this is a debut novel. This is the author's first book. And I will say, this is very fun. I think it's a very good first book to publish, and so far this author will be someone that I continue to read from. So, the Poet Empress. This one is called Burn Down Master's House by Clay Kane. So this one, let me see. I think the first thing I saw about this one was someone saying, or I think it's written somewhere on here, that if you like Percival Everett's writing, you'll love this book. And I love Percival Everett's writing. I've read 2 of his books so far. I have 1 book that I own that I have not read, and I have a ton that I'm holding myself back from reading because I have to read that one first. So I immediately added this to my TBR. But from what I do know about the synopsis, and I'm going to read it here, I wrote something down. All I know is that it is a bunch of different stories of rebellion and resistance throughout the South, and how they are all connected to amount to one big act of rebellion, or one big fight for justice and freedom. I'm not sure if it's all within the same time period, or if it's different time periods and you're seeing like how an act of rebellion from like the 30s helped something happen, or an act of rebellion in the 70s, or if it's all during the same time period. I'm pretty sure I think I like skimmed the synopsis once, and I'm pretty sure there's one story at least that is like very like connected to the first story. But other than that, that's all I know. A trend that you're going to see in the books that I'm interested in, and I usually do not know a lot about the books. I feel like if I learn too much about the books, I am not interested anymore. Just give me a few details here and there, and I will decide if I want to read it or not. So just expect that going on. But yeah, it wasn't planned, but I am excited to read this for Black History Month. I'm also excited to get to books like King of Ashes by S.A. Cosby, and maybe some other books, but I do read diversely all year long. That is a flex. If you would also like to be cool, you know, these books are available all year long. I digress. So yeah, that's this book. Okay, so this is A Vow of Vengeance, by Jacqueline Rodriguez. I don't think I said the author of this. This is by Shen Tao. I don't think I said that. So this is A Vow of Vengeance by Jacqueline Rodriguez, and this is a romantasy. I have not read romance in years, let alone a romantasy, other than the very irregular Secret Society, which is whatever it's called. I did read that and it was very cute. I do want to read this because I want to get back into romance. I used to love romance. I got out of it. I think I just started reading so much and it was my main genre that everything kind of started feeling the same, and so I just took a break from it. And then every time I've tried coming back, it seems like romance has really been commodified, I guess might be the right word. It's just to sell more books. It's not to actually have a good story. You will figure out the right word, I'm sure. So I haven't gone back into romance. This year, I want to read more new releases. These are all new releases. Because I usually have no idea what books came out. I'm usually not picking up any new releases. I'm usually looking at books that came out at least a couple years ago. And I hate it because anytime the rewards, or like the Goodreads awards or the Booker Prize or any of those, I'm sure there's many other ones that I'm not thinking of right now. I never know what any of the books are, or I know of them, but I know I haven't read them. And I kind of have FOMO. I want to. So I thought, why not also, read some romantasy. I also want to get into romance, so I have a few library holds for romance books that are coming out. I think one romance book that is coming out in a couple weeks. I know in February. So the book, I don't know much about this one either, obviously, but I have seen good reviews. Every romantasy that I've seen comes out this year, I have seen horrible reviews for, so this is not a, high bar to pass, but we're giving it a chance. All I really know is that it is in an academic setting. It's in a college, a magic college, I'm assuming. It's fast-paced, and it's a tarot-based magic. Cool. Now for manga. I only have 2 volumes of manga. They're both for The Climber. Again, I don't know much. But this is a series that I think started getting translated into English last year, and I have seen people talk about this series since like 2024. I'm pretty sure since like way before it got translated. I think as soon as it got announced to be translated, I've been seeing people talk about this. I've been seeing people talk about how amazing it is. Every time a volume gets translated and gets published out in English, I've seen people talk about how great it is, and I've never really given it a second thought. It's called The Climber. I don't know anything about it. Nothing ever pulled me into it, other than it looks like a chunkier book. I love that. And I've seen people show the flop. I love floppy books. But that's about it. But when I was making my post, I don't know if anyone saw, for revenge and training arcs and obsession arcs, this started showing up a lot in my research. And I say research, and I don't know what this is about. But I came across this and basically found out, like, training and obsession with training, I think, sums up the plot pretty well, from what I've seen. So all I really know is our main character gets bullied, I think, like, pretty severely so, and becomes obsessed with climbing, and specifically like solo climbing, where it's very challenging and dangerous. And I'm pretty sure there's a bet or competition. You see how much I basically go in blind to the books that I really want to read, or partially blind. But other than that, as soon as I found out the whole training part, I love a good training arc. I love when our characters, or our main character, gets like obsessive about training, almost like self-destructively so. As many of you seen, I just finished reading The Rage of Dragons, and that is like obsessive training to the max, and then you think you've gotten to the max, and then it passes the max and it goes crazy. It's almost like becoming a weapon yourself and dedicating yourself to that, and this isn't about that. So as soon as I heard that this kind of has that, I was like, sign me up. So I have these 2. I do have the 3rd volume. Someone else has it. I hope they give it back to the library soon, because I feel like this is going to be a series that I need to sit with a few volumes and just get through it. So that is The Climber. Now for movies. So I got 3 movies. I will say, I'm not a movie person. I haven't been a movie person. I've always wanted to. I've always enjoyed going to the movie theater, but lately it's been like, you have to pull out a loan to go to the movies and eat, maybe, and enjoy yourself. It's been pretty expensive to go to the movies now, so I haven't been able to. And then on top of it, I don't really have any streaming services anymore. I canceled my subscription to like HBO, Hulu, Disney Plus, all that. I didn't really use them. I'm also not a big TV person. I think last year's when I've really become an anime person. And then Netflix, I'm on my parents' account. I think the only thing I pay for is Crunchyroll. So yeah, not big on movies. So when I found out that the library, I mean, I've always known, but the second I was like, oh, free will, I can do that. that is when I started really wanting to become a movie person, because one, it's free. I don't have to pay a ticket. And two, I don't have to pay $20 for like 3 chicken nuggets. I can just make really good food. I love my cooking. I'm a great cook. I can just make something that tastes better than movie theater food and eat it here on my couch. Very comfortable. So yeah. Anyways, so the first movie is Nosferatu. I think this came out last year or 2 years ago, something. This is one of those movies where I saw that it was out in theaters and I didn't know if I was gonna like it, so I didn't want to spend the money to go watch it and possibly hate it. So I got it from the library for free. And I don't know anything about the plot. I think it's like the original vampire story. I don't know. I just know everyone else was talking about it and I want to talk about it too. The second movie is How to Train Your Dragon, the live action. This is one that I would have gone to the theaters for. I have no idea when it came out. I just knew it didn't exist and now it exists. But my parents watched this, I think, very recently, and they told me that it was great. They loved it, so put a hold. And then the last movie is Freakier Friday. I love Freaky Friday. I listen to the music from Freaky Friday all the time. This is one I wanted to go to the theater for, but I am so like out of the game of going to the movie theater that I saw the day it came out and I was thinking about buying tickets, and the next time I even thought about the movie theater, it had been out of theaters for like weeks. So I would have paid for this, but now I don't have to. So that is all. This was nerve-wracking. This was easier than I thought it was going to be. My only thing is I have to figure out what to do, because this is, I wrote my like script on the notes app and I opened it up on my laptop and look how tiny that is. I can't read that. I don't think I even really went by most of what I wrote on here. So I need to figure that out. I say a lot. That's tough. Other than that, I definitely see what everyone was talking about. The second I start, I'm a yapper at heart. I'm just so nervous about being perceived. That is my whole thing, especially like I haven't washed my hair in so long, so my hair is all greasy. It's been cold in Miami, so I don't know what to do when it's cold. I've been scared to wash my hair because I don't know what your abuela told you, but my abuela told me that if I wet my hair when it's cold, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna drop dead. So I've been terrified to wash my hair. All I want to do is wash my hair. And I literally just got home from work. I just finished walking my dog, and I was literally like, it's now or never, because I have been making an excuse every single day for any little reason to not make a video and to not like just finally start. So I did it. Now it's to editing. So hopefully this video actually looks good when I post it. Well, thank you. Bye.